or just always hyperventilating. Yeah. Well, yeah, obviously make yourself feel cool. I think they that you can get around it. Yeah, it's not for you yeah. What were you doing? Just going to the gas station? Yes. Yeah, you know, were you on the side of the road? Yes. Yes. You do.
Imagine for a moment being told to go into a room with a man who just viciously murdered his wife, but act as if he has done nothing wrong, as though he were a harmless stranger in need of assistance. Your outward demeanor must show no judgment, no suspicion, and certainly no fear. While maintaining such an artificial calm in front of such an unpredictable threat, many people would jump at the sudden clatter of metal from his pocket knife being tossed across the table. And while this officer reveals the smallest crack in composure from the sheer abruptness of it, he immediately blends into the moment and maintains the desired atmosphere. What you're seeing here from the officer is deception, 100% pure choreography, and a particular form of psychological maneuvering that just so happens to work perfectly with this individual's personality. Anytime Joseph tries to be funny or charming, the officer responds in the appropriate manner to protect his ego. You will notice he completely strips the atmosphere of its gravity and ensures there is no tension or awkwardness in the exchange. The reason this works so well in this specific circumstance is because Joseph Verlatza, in our opinion, is a raging fucking narcissist. He's so incredibly susceptible to the external validation from the officers that he genuinely seems to believe they've taken a strong liking to him, and that he's able to control the environment through his super chill, laid back personality. To give you some context, Joseph will go on to plead not guilty to all
No,
charges. So let's
genetics.
3 years to his trial, and hear in his own words how he supposedly ended up in this interrogation chair.
Be seated at the room. Does the defense wish to present a case in this case?
Yes, thank you. We call Joseph Ferrazzo.
Yeah, I'd be disappointed in you.
The subject of a time. Okay.
Very good.
How are you feeling this morning?
Very nervous, very anxious, very tired. Yeah.
Okay. Reaches a point where you feel we need a break. Let us know, please.
Yes.
The act he's trying to project here is that of a traumatized husband, a man who had no choice but to save his own life from an abuser. He frequently widens his eyes and performs these hard swallows to convey heightened vulnerability and emotional shock, gestures that appear semi-convincing during direct examination, but will completely fall apart under cross-examination.
So let's start with some easy information. Where were you born?
I was born in Pennsylvania, Reading, Pennsylvania.
When did you move to Vermont?
I moved to Vermont in 2012.
Were you working as a tattoo artist at that time?
Yes, I was.
When did you meet Emily?
I met Emily in 2018.
And to be clear, we're talking about Emily Ferrazzo, who was your wife, right?
Yes.
How did you meet her?
I don't want to work today. It's gonna suck,
Actually met her.
but it's whatever.
I can't remember her last name. Lauren.
Lauren was an apprentice in his tattoo shop.
Yeah, you making me want to turn on the sleep stream right now. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, what the fuck kind of comment is that? Why would you even fucking ask? If you don't care for my consent, why ask? You sick fucker. You sick bastard.
Never laughed.
You didn't start dating her at that point.
No. I think she was seeing somebody else, and I was seeing somebody else.
Emily returns to the shop to get a tattoo. He claims that she called him afterwards, whereas records indicate he was the one who called her.
She wanted to have more tattooing done. I really love this tattoo. Like,
Slay. I'm sleeping in a second, so don't expect me to talk for y'all for long. I got a lot to do tomorrow.
2 weeks, our tattoo healed.
We're almost dead here.
her demeanor was different. She told me she had just broken up with her boyfriend. She dyed her hair a different color. She was extremely flirty, and I was receptive to that. I was like, wow, like you really seem like pretty open today. Like, and I asked her if she wanted to go have a motorcycle ride and see a tour of some of Vermont.
And did she?
Yes, she did. Yes, we took a motorcycle ride that evening.
So after that night, when did you see Lauren next? I keep saying Lauren. Emily next.
The next day.
They hung out every day for the rest of the summer and eventually got married in October.
So you were happy?
I was happy.
Did she say
I don't trust this guy at all, dude. This guy sounds like a piece of shit.
first few months?
He's guilty. I only know that much. I'm over here listening to this, rolling my eyes. Like, what the fuck?
Like,
Yes, that's right.
what's the matter? You're looking a little.
Yeah, I'm feeling very emotional right now.
Or not. This guy's lying his ass off over here. Like, fucking actually making me roll my eyes. Fucking with my sleep as well. What a lying bitch.
Started giving.
I'm okay.
You're okay.
I need to watch the newest episode of Invincible, but I haven't seen it yet. I want to, but I also want to save the last 2 episodes. Just watch them back to back. I also want to watch The Boys last season, but all that Frenchie shit that's been coming out really been pissing me off. So I haven't watched The Boys newest season yet.
Physical abuse in
It's
their
a good show, though. It was a good show before I knew
surface and suspected
about that fucker, but you can't fucking. You gotta. It is what it is.
By beating on me.
Was she saying anything to you while this was happening?
Yeah, you know,
I'm going to sleep in a minute, so you're gonna watch me sleep like a weirdo.
Fucking asshole.
I finished the song, so that's exciting.
Yeah, she would say,
Gotta see if it's approved though. If not, I have to write a new verse.
I can't believe you're still fucking talking to this bitch. And it was a friend of mine that I'd known for years, and I told her that
But yeah, if she doesn't like it, I'll make a new one.
that
Here, keep my feet in the air. Think about it.
since 2014, like
Well, I'm not gonna delete that version. Obviously, I'm gonna keep that. But I'll make I could probably make 2 or 3 different versions of that song easily.
Physically.
yes, man. Yes, physically.
And did you ever get her back?
Oh man.
Contact police about any of the times that she assaulted you.
The technical term for what you're seeing here is called
No, Black Boy, I have no clue what you're talking about.
cells before the prosecution can exploit it. And Joseph here seems to have practiced this one in the mirror a few times.
No, it's not their business.
Not your business. That's a motto that you live your life by, isn't it?
I'm an independent person. I'm a very private person. I don't want to dump my crap on other people.
They then got a dog, bought a camper van, and went to Bolton, Vermont for their 1-year wedding anniversary.
This was our first like road trip as a family. So it's very exciting.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Emily too, she was in a good mood.
Yeah, she was super excited to take Rosie out, and she was stoked to meet Nikki and Ariel.
Nikki is his sister, and Ariel is her boyfriend, who they were meeting up with for the anniversary. The first night they got there, while alone together in the camper van, he claims Emily started becoming combative, saying the anniversary idea was terrible and the camper van was stupid.
So I was like, yo, maybe just like pour yourself a drink and relax.
I have to have another 1,000 hours of watch time,
So
and then I can enable super chats.
you can see in the dark.
But that's okay.
Yes.
We'll grind it out.
What I believe to be Coyote.
I'm gonna make a Patreon. I don't think I'm gonna make Patreon. I do have a
Dark.
nah.
Remington's a pretty small dog.
I'll enable super chats one day, but I don't think I deserve it yet.
When he gets back into the camper van, he claims Emily starts berating him about the candles he lit earlier being too bright.
And I said, it's not that bright. Like, you could always just roll over. She got up and ran at me and grabbed one of the candles.
He claims that she begins attacking him with a candlestick.
She hit me in like my neck and head, and in my arms. I was like blocking. I had to restrain her. I had to like physically grab her by her arms and like hold her arms down. And she kept kicking. She actually kicked Remy.
He says that he manages to push her onto the side of the bed and she calms down.
I told her that that we're not your punching bags, and
You said what?
I told her that we weren't her punching bags.
We weren't.
She kicked Remy.
For the record, Emily adored animals, and this statement was deemed extremely implausible by her peers. Joseph, on the other hand, was accused by his ex-girlfriend of kicking her dog on 2 separate occasions.
And she was kicking me and punching me, and I pushed her back. And I told Remy, I was like, "Yo, we're gonna take a walk."
After the second walk, he gets back into the camper van, drinks a vodka and Coke, then starts getting into his side of the bed.
So I was climbing over her, and she shouted, "Fuck off!" And she like threw an elbow at me, and elbowed me in my groin, and I said, "No more hitting." And so we had like a bunch of throw pillows that we like lined around the bed, like the top of the bed where we slept. So one of the throw pillows was right there, and I swatted her with the throw pillow, and I said, "Stop hitting."
Please remember these next 17 seconds, which we're calling the phony fugue state. He tries to present a foggy, dissociated moment of recollection, with long pauses, forced ums, and a vacant stare. But it's pure performance, and we know it's performance because he'll completely contradict this manner of recollection during cross-examination.
And that's when it happened.
What happened?
She said, "That's it, you're dead," and she threw her arm under her pillow.
He earlier made the claim that both him and Emily slept with handguns under their pillows, also deemed highly implausible by witness testimony.
And she pulls her hand out with the Taurus, and
How are you feeling?
I was feeling just horrified, just
Are
like
you afraid?
I was terrified. Like there was like as soon as I saw that, like I just felt like this like wave of heat, like just like red hot, and she started like pushing her body up in an instant, and I'm like, "No, no, 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 no," and like I don't know, like she wasn't stopping, and I had I was holding my Glock.
He'll later claim he was in the process of putting the gun under his own pillow.
And she started just like coming up at me, and I just fired.
Why?
She was gonna shoot me.
And you were afraid.
Very.
From this point forward, he claims to have no memory of the events that followed until he woke up in a police cell 3 days later. But according to corroborated evidence and witness testimony, he had breakfast with his sister the next morning, where he ordered a goat cheese omelet, a side of bacon, and a samosa. He then gave his sister a tattoo. When his sister asked where Emily was, he told her she was sleeping. He then sent a string of text messages to Emily's phone number. The next day, he went to a bonfire party where he was seen taking bong hits and doing keggers. Later that same evening, he would send Emily another series of text messages. He went for pancakes and a samosa once again the next morning, then sent Emily one final message. It would be shortly after this message that Emily's mother asked Joseph where her daughter was and why her phone had been switched off for so long. He told her they had gotten into a fight and that he hadn't seen Emily in roughly 2 days. Emily was then reported missing. Roughly 7 hours later, as Joseph's friend was driving him back to where the camper van was parked, they noticed police had cordoned off the area. Joseph then told his friend to stop the car, at which point he got out and wandered off into the woods. His next known location was at a maple fields 10 miles away roughly 14 hours later, where by pure happenstance he was spotted by a police officer.
And what was he doing?
He was getting a drink out of the cooler and sort of stepping back from the cooler at that time.
Did you recognize the male?
When he closed the door to the cooler and he turned around and we made eye contact, I was like, wait, I know this person. In that moment, I couldn't figure out where or why. My brain was still trying to catch up with me. But I knew I recognized him.
And did you ultimately determine how you recognized him?
Yeah, so he walked to the right and then turned to walk up to one of the aisles towards the front of the store, and he turned and looked at me again, and we locked eyes again. And at that point, I recognized that it was Joseph Ferlazzo. It seemed to me, based on my training and experience, it was almost as if he were trying to figure out, fight, flight, freeze. What do I do?
And what did you say to him?
I said, Joseph, it's you, right? Are you okay?
This was Detective Sergeant Amy Nolan taking the initiative, and one of 2 reasons why the upcoming interrogation you're about to see unfolds the way it does. Joseph Ferlazzo was classified as a homicide suspect. She would have been entirely within her authority to draw her weapon, order him to the ground, and wait for backup to secure the arrest. Instead, relying on her experience and a remarkable amount of both courage and composure, she seized a unique opportunity when it presented itself.
And what did he do in reply?
He took his drink down and his body language sort of deflated. And he said, no, I'm not okay.
She very gradually explains that he's not in trouble and not under arrest, but feels it could be a good idea for him to accompany her back to the police barracks.
And so did you bring him back to the barracks?
I did. The other thing that we did sort of in that halfway point was I asked him and explained before I could give him a ride. It was our sort of protocol that we had to pat somebody down for weapons before I could allow him in my cruiser with me, and also because I don't have a typical cruiser with what they call the cage in the back to separate the officer from a person that they've picked up for some reason. So he said that was fine. He's indicated he had no weapons, so I patted him down real quick.
So it was just you and Mr. Ferlazzo on the ride back to the barracks.
Correct.
And did you speak to him during that time about Emily?
Not about Emily. I asked him, like I said, it was cold that day. I asked him, are you cold? He said he was. I turned the heat up. I said, have you been out all night? Based on the interactions that I knew had occurred the night before, he said he had. I asked him if he, was thirsty, if he was hungry. He said he was. And so again, I told him, I turned the heat up and I told him I would get him something to eat once we got back to the barracks.
The journey to the police station took just under 7 minutes. The second factor behind how this interrogation unfolds is Sergeant Nolan's ability to brief her colleague at speed. It took roughly 30 seconds for the suspect to be greeted at the door by the precinct's commanding officer and walk to interview room 3, during which time she managed to relay the circumstances of his arrest and the precise approach required for this interaction.
The time we should start. We started 8. We did I do like 8 to 8, like a 12 or something. No, 9. We do it back to 10 hours.
I'm gonna just feel it. Hold you over. You're not leaving that. Okay, I'll go get ham turkey.
I know.
Bunch of cops around. I just that's fine.
Yeah, focus. I appreciate your effort.
You got it. All right, I'll get you a sandwich.
I'm not done with you, yeah. You're doing really sweet, you know? I laid off sugar for a while. Yeah. And then, oh my God.
In the blanket.
Yeah, it's cool out there. You've been there for a while. Good. You think so, yeah. I guess. my wife today with the doctor's first day. Oh. Good picture. Not yet. Or I asked her. So we're just like, you were, never been to the daycare before. Gonna come back with like running out of this. Yeah, right. That's how I got right. Let's go with it. Did you? 2019. This cute little kid, literally his entire face was bigger than a beautiful kid. Yeah, he was like big for eyeballs, like big long lashes like that. Yeah, and I'm holding the bed arms. Look down, I'm a little bit for a minute. But it was even about to go my lap. Sure, let's get sick. I think it was so. It was like you lose like 12 days in the lab. Not really. It was kind of like you're one of the middle. Yeah.
He talks about COVID for another 2 minutes while the detective continues pretending to be interested in what he has to say.
That I didn't ask and I touched things. I didn't use hand sanitizer every second. Really, I just put my life away. I was living at the it just as a negative. Yeah. Pretty sure where that thing was and that thing. The big bad. What even up there? Yeah, right. The super blue that he had his America down for.
He launches into a brief monologue on the global economic fallout of the pandemic.
But that's everybody cutting their savings from that. But then to jump back up. Yeah. I imagine that's gotta be fitting some people off trouble. Cool. Joe, you got it? Is it Joe or Joseph? Which do you prefer? Do you have a preference? Whatever's here for you. Whatever you prefer. I'm James. Dave? That's me, you. All right, that's that. All right. Okay. I'm happy to hang right there. I know that I'm being the right. All right. Yeah. Appreciate it. It's just, we're just gonna shut the door just for privacy purposes. I'm pretty solid to keep people walking around.
The actual reason the door is being shut is because it locks from the outside, a standard safety protocol for high-risk cases in Franklin County. The detective appears noticeably uneasy about the pocket knife being left on the table. He'll be visibly on edge during the early stages of this interrogation, yet still perform exceptionally well. And this is perhaps our favorite interrogator so far on this channel, because he is the exact opposite of the person he is sitting across the table from.
You need anything? I think you got water, we got some food. Yeah, I'm good. All right, so like I said, my name is James. This is Steph. We work for the state police for detectives. We've been trying to get up to speed on what's going on today. And don't understand that you might be able to help us and understand a few things. We are happy to listen. Our ultimate goal is to find out way. And we're hoping that you can help us with that. Before we get going, I'm just going to be fair to you. Obviously, we're here in state police barracks, right? Obviously, we're state police. So I just want to make sure that you're aware of the rights that you have. So I'll read these to you. We're here in all the first one. All right. Well, why don't we? I think what would be helpful for me is just have you start from the beginning of what happened and start from the beginning and we'll listen. That maybe at the end we'll have a few questions. We'll go from there. Is that fair? All right. So I'll turn it over to you. Kind of what happened. So I was living in New Hampshire for like the last month. And came to work on my Christmas out and vacations, camping, have some fun. And as soon as I put the vehicle in the park, my wife went completely with her psychotic. And I shot her. Now here we are. All right. Can you, where did you? Oh, okay. So, I guess my next question is, when did that happen?
He says it happened early on Friday morning at the Bolton Ski Resort, which is 4.5 days prior to this moment. He then makes a passing comment about, quote, cleaning up after the incident.
Describe what you mean when you say you cleaned up. There's blood in there. Bag over it. And then there's blood on it. Okay. Where? Where in blood? She's in the bathroom. I haven't been to the bus. So can you describe the bus for me? Like, what's the layout? What's the doors?
He draws out a diagram of the inside of the camper van.
And so after you kind of clean up, you put somebody in the bathroom, what do you do? Following work and that's breakfast, and that's it for coffee, it's breakfast, with breakfast. Tell me about that. I had some coffee and some breakfast, and that's it in the Airbnb. The coffee was in the Airbnb. And we were down the street for breakfast. Okay. Did you talk about what had happened? No, I was being very avoid that. So, okay. All right. Did they ask about what? Yeah. What they asked? Just like, what's her deal? What you said? I was like, yeah, you know, my role, like, her husband, but so I'm just fucking like. Did they ask for some fun? I found directly. Pretty set. Okay. Cool.
He rambles through a series of unrelated tangents before getting to the moment when his friend was driving him back to the camper van and he saw the police officers waiting outside.
Turn the car around, you know, and with the back of the cars, so I can't do this right. Just there. Yeah, pretty. And that's it. You drove away. Where'd you sleep last night? Pretty windy. Pretty. I appreciate you telling me all that, kind of doing the time spent from Friday, when you got from last, so kind of how we ended up here today. But yeah, I think that's good. What I'd like to do is really focus in on Friday itself, and he's been in with you and Emily, and kind of go over that with a bit more detail. Is that fair? So my understanding, what you told me is that you got into Vermont 278. Yeah.
The initial release of the interrogation footage cuts out at this moment. What we know is that they decided to take a break, and Joseph went to use the bathroom. The footage resumes 13 minutes later. Joseph's demeanor while outside the interrogation room was reportedly bizarre, which officers later described as a feigned mild panic attack, noting that he appeared to be forcing a state of vulnerability as a way of presenting himself as the victim. You'll see remnants of it as he now interacts with the officer who escorted him to the bathroom.
He now he did the company. Yeah, that's very good. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. We should do.
I'm Shane.
Yeah.
Are you the individual that sort of comes in during the breaks and sits with Mr. Filazzo?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been on the state for this for 24 years now. Yeah.
A very interesting detail of this moment is that Sergeant Truex could not once recall being asked such a simple question in his 24 years of service. He hadn't once been to therapy, and remarkably can't remember a single moment where he actually sat down and reflected on such a straightforward concept. So the fact that the moment finally arrives from a psycho murderer playing with his food makes his forthcoming pause of contemplation somewhat absurd, yet absolutely compelling.
Trying to do the best we can for people families.
Turkey salmon. We grabbed a couple of, okay. You don't eat carbs, do you? Took on bread all. Notice that. Alright, well, lettuce right. Do what you gotta do. Well, I mean, with all that birds, right.
They ease back into it by asking him non-threatening questions, mainly about his travel patterns in the days following the incident.
I guess I went there and got really. What was the plan with Emily's body? Like if the police hadn't shown up last night at, well, just have the thoughts, what was your plan? I didn't really have a plan. Like, they even what's in the wall. Where? I don't know. I guess I'm not even. Did you use your phone at all to like search anything? Or maybe like, were you like, what do I do? That kind of thing? You do like Google searches or Safari searches about what you gonna do? Didn't look up anything? No. Okay. Just ask. Make sure. That's a simple question. Did you use your phone to search anything in this past weekend related to what happened on Friday? No. No, I didn't have any questions. Yeah. Let me know, like, I wonder what the other teams do. When you said earlier that you put the bag, or like that, did you just put it over her head or she went her whole body in the bag? Not over body, but her whole body's back up. Describe that. So I cut her body and put it in the bag. Okay. Tell me about that. Had to cut her body. I used a saw and cut her body into water. You know, packed it up and take it up the woods. Yep. Where did you do that? On the bus. Where's the saw? The bus. What kind of saw? Describe it. Just the hand stuff. Did you carry any out with every piece of Emily's body is still in that bus or the little circle? Paper. That's what. Right. All the way to, not good, there you go. Well, those are the, those are the details that I was talking about. That are important for us to know. At the end of the day, this investigation is going to take time. Those details will come out. But, I think it's better to hear it from me. So, with that being said, what else haven't we talked about that is important for us to know about what happens? That's it. I think they talked about all of it. I don't know what else. So we're gonna step out for a minute. Do you need more coffee or water or anything? We'll get these bathroom. I think those are your chip. No, you can either one of them. Oh, you don't. Oh. Start. Don't need any start. Not playing games to your stomach or you just. No. I'm gonna go back to maybe. I needed it, but I'm sitting here. Don't need it.
When you would leave the room and come back in, if you recall, you were.
Yes. Passing moments like this may seem inconsequential, yet it's the prosecution's way of establishing mental competency, effectively neutralizing any possible argument that he was operating in a diminished or compromised state.
Not really. Not really. So that's the part. How much do you know about the next part? Like in general, or yeah. So everything. First of all, the effectively page curve, and what you're saying is true. Yeah. I have first one. Yeah. You were gonna find stuff. Yeah. You want one? That's what I heard.
The conversation was reportedly casual as they went out for a cigarette.
Something else that kind of comes to mind, having this open conversation, kind of laugh. That's because,
Before this investigator went outside with Joseph for a cigarette, he was briefed on some additional details. One of them was that almost 12 years to the date, Joseph's stepmother was stabbed to death in her own home. The case was never solved. They also discovered that in addition to shooting his wife twice, he stabbed her 18 times.
Is this the first time that this has happened? Yeah. Yeah. As you would assume, like, pretty depth. Like, I don't know if it was you or the thing. You were talking to me a week ago. They were doing about those things that I never do. We started from early. Like nonstop, like morning to night.
Emily was upset because the location he chose for their one-year anniversary was the exact location his ex-girlfriend was staying, and that's what he's currently talking about.
All right. Well, why don't we go see where they're and look here. Okay. Go. Hey. This is me. Oh, okay. So you can take your picture.
They first take pictures of his face, hands, and clothing.
All right, so I have not watched or your interview, but my understanding is that there was some kind of physical altercation with you and Emily, and that you may have been your girlfriend, something like that. Will you consent to me taking photographs of you without clothing on? And if you're not comfortable with it being me, I can have Robbie do it, to see if there's any bruising on you. I mean, we could get, like, I could do chest and maybe legs, if you have underwear on.
What the hell did we just watch?
We could, like, I could do chest and maybe legs, if you have underwear on.
Our personal take on what he's doing here must have something to do with Sergeant Nolan's tactical display of approachability during their encounter, something that Mr. Ferlazzo has catastrophically misread, and maybe feels he can use to his advantage in this situation somehow, or perhaps just deepen whatever distorted sense of self this is feeding into. Whatever the case, it's just so excruciatingly embarrassing that we almost didn't put it in this video.
So let me, as part of the consent, to do photographs of your body as well. Okay.
Not a single bruise or scratch was discovered on his body, not one, though he was sure to point out some ever so slightly reddish marks on parts of his skin that he could have got from sleeping out in the woods, or perhaps a moderately hot shower. The moment he was finally informed that he was under arrest and going to jail was regrettably not captured on video. As mentioned before, the initial release of this footage came partially redacted, but you can rest assured that it will all come full circle before this video concludes.
All right, you're on. Thank you.
The truth is that before leaving New Hampshire, you stopped at Market Basket.
The Market Basket supermarket was where he went to buy the tools to dispose of Emily's body, a moment beyond what he's now claiming to remember, and you'll notice how incredibly attuned he is to the challenges directed toward this assertion. His claim of having no recollection beyond a certain moment is designed to support the idea that he entered some kind of fugue state brought on by shock, suggesting that in his right mind, he would never have dismembered his wife or attempted to bury her in the woods. It's also the explanation he leans on for why he failed to clearly articulate during his interrogation how gravely his life was in danger, the key detail of his self-defense claim.
I did see that, yes.
That's the truth.
I saw that on the PowerPoint.
And it's the truth.
I don't remember it, but yes.
And you spent $60.43 at Market Basket.
Is that what happened? I don't remember sending the text, but you have it there in front of you, so.
And you said to her, I'll see you in the morning.
Alright.
And you said, you still drink coffee?
Alright.
So that's your sister?
That was what I sent to him. That's you have that.
Would you like to see the text?
I don't remember the text. I don't remember the text exactly. So if you have them, then
Do you want to see them?
I mean, I don't have to. If you're gonna read them to me, then we can do it this way. Or-
So you've testified that Emily was mad when you got to Bolton.
She was angry.
A detail mentioned by several people in the courtroom who knew Ferlazzo personally was that parts of his speech and articulation had noticeably changed during this testimony, especially the word yes. The way you'll hear him say this word isn't how he usually spoke.
Emily's mad at you. You guys argue, is that correct?
Yes.
And she's rebuffing you.
Yes.
She doesn't want to dance.
No.
She doesn't want the candles on.
Correct.
She just wants to go to bed.
She didn't say anything to me.
She went and laid down in the bed.
Yes.
She's facing outward, scrolling on her phone.
Yes.
You're sitting down on the couch. Correct? When Emily's saying these hurtful things to you. You're sitting on the couch.
No.
You're in the bed.
No.
You're standing in the aisle.
Yeah, I was doing some.
You're yoga, dancing.
Yes, that's correct.
You light some candles,
Yes,
and Emily doesn't like the candlelight.
that's correct.
And she tells you to put them out.
That's also correct.
And you don't put them out.
No, I don't.
And she gets up and she grabs one of these candles.
Yes.
These big Yankee candles,
Yes.
glass,
Yes, ma'am.
heavy,
Very.
and she starts hitting you in the head with it
Yes, ma'am.
and in the body.
Yes, ma'am.
And you're able to grab onto her and get the candle away from her.
That's correct.
That is over. She goes and lays back down.
Yes.
When you came in, she was in the bed,
Yes.
and you are trying to relax,
Yes.
trying to enjoy your vacation,
Yes.
and you make a decision.
What decision?
The decision that you need to stop this.
I was having some drinks and smoking.
You decided enough is enough. I'm going to put an end to this.
No.
You got up.
During direct examination, he had a 1,000-yard worried stare as if lost in reflection. Here, he almost continuously glares at the prosecutor, perhaps thinking that projecting this abrasive display of confidence will render him more credible. The issue is that during direct, he presented himself as a broken husband who struggled to recall anything closely connected to the incident. Yet now he's steely-eyed and steadfast. You could argue that the change in questioning style caused the shift in his energy, but it's the extent of the shift and the complete disappearance of the emotional fragility he displayed earlier that makes the argument he is being deceptive. And just to be clear, I believe he's being 100% fraudulent in both these instances. His true self is still an enigma that I doubt has appeared once in this video.
You got up from the couch where you were having your drink.
I wasn't on the couch.
You told the police that you got up.
I don't remember talking to the police.
You heard yourself tell the police that you got up.
I saw the video.
And you
Yes.
heard yourself tell the police that you got up.
I saw the video.
And you got your Glock.
Are we talking about the video?
And when you realized you had just shot your wife, you didn't call 911.
No.
You didn't go and get your sister.
No.
You told the police that you put her wallet in a bag.
I don't remember talking to the police.
I understand that, Mr. Ferlazzo, but you listened to the video and you've heard your words. So you told the police that you put her wallet in a bag, correct?
I did see the video.
And you heard you utter the words, I put her wallet in a bag.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
You heard
And then
yourself
the video on the video?
yes.
I saw the video, yeah.
And you heard yourself say, I put her wallet in a bag.
Yes, I did.
You're able to give her that tattoo and successfully give her that tattoo.
Still
Still,
remember.
Mr. Ferlazzo, that was your confirmation, right?
You got here.
You did remember what day of the week it was when you were meeting with James and Seth.
From the video?
This is my favorite moment of cross-examination. He's about to make eye contact with the prosecutor, and something about how she responds, and perhaps how she looks at him, will shake his feigned exterior just that little bit.
From reality.
We are talking about the video, right?
We're talking about reality.
Okay.
So, Mr. Ferlazzo, we can agree that you lie.
Yes, I have lied to people
You're lying today.
about.
Everything.
I'm sitting here giving you my recall of what I have to work with.
No questions.
So as you heard earlier, multiple segments of Joseph's interrogation were redacted before the footage made its way onto social media. Yet the prosecution made certain the jury viewed it in its entirety. What you're about to watch is, in our opinion, the result of a potent mix of sleep deprivation, mental exhaustion, and an extraordinary lack of situational awareness, very likely enhanced by the calibrated framing that occurred during the opening sequence of his apprehension. He had spent the entire night freezing in the woods, likely terrified and in a state of panic. after coming down off a 3-day bender of drugs and alcohol. Then, while at his most depleted, he was met by a figure of authority who offered him warmth and understanding, followed by another reassuring encounter where the rapport seemed effortless and disarming. The focus of the moment was subtly shifted away from the horror of what he had done, onto his own inflated sense of worth and self-pity, followed by a continuous process of positive affirmations and ego reinforcement, all of which forged the environment and the oncoming result that occurred in the 3 previously redacted segments of footage you are about to watch.
How did that turn into, I heard you said if you shot her, so explain how that incident continued. I don't know, I just, some things that. Can you describe Emily when you shot her? What was she doing? And she had stopped fighting and she had gone and lay down. And then jumped on top of her. How many times? If you know, if you could talk to Emily's parents, is there anything that you would say? I mean, clearly I would apologize for. What about? You know, 3 people that press. I can tell you that. I wish it didn't happen. I wish I could turn back time. I wish that. I would just. I don't know if you've ever just like be a dick, but I mean I don't do it that well. I'm usually just like okay, he'll talk about it, fix it, you know, whatever. Or, see, he was being kind of like a dick just to be a dick. Yeah, you know, like I don't think that, you know what I mean, like I suppose it would be like if I mean I totally get it, so just grow like looking at me, you know, but I'm sure you're thinking like, wow, this dude, what the fuck? You know, like what pushes a man to do such a thing? Like I would never do that. And I believe me. And then you would have acted in his movie. It was the same thing. Like, I don't think I've heard that in your kids.
Had Joseph Ferlazzo been met with immediate confrontation and transparency, none of this would have plausibly occurred. His demeanor and method of response from cross-examination is likely what you would have seen throughout this interrogation. Yet due to the powers permitted under U.S. protocol, he was guided to a place where he could no longer walk back from. Now, before moving on to the final part of this video, we need to explore the nuance of this particular element and why that nuance matters. As many of you will know, the permitted use of deception in American policing is extremely controversial, as it's been known to put innocent people into prison through false confessions. Many of these cases have gone viral over the years, with perhaps the most recent involving Thomas Perez Jr.
Well, this video is incredibly disturbing to watch. The man being interrogated is Thomas Perez Jr. He reported his father missing. Fontana police accused Thomas of killing his dad.
It was August of 2018. Fontana police were convinced Perez's father had been murdered. They thought Perez appeared suspicious.
It's really concerning to me that he hasn't been back yet.
They asked Perez to come to the station, and that's where they turned a missing person case into a 17-hour interrogation.
Yeah, standing there doesn't.
You just told me you found your dead dad. They even brought in Perez's best friend to try and get a confession. When that didn't work, detectives brought in Perez's dog.
Sit here. No, wait.
Thank you. What do we got? Another step. Things like shit. What did we do? Where was your step? Mine, done.
They learned that Tom's father was alive and well and was at LAX airport ready to take a flight to go visit his sister.
Steering filed a civil rights lawsuit in federal court against the city of Fontana, and the suit was settled for nearly $900,000.
Now, while both of these cases fall under the umbrella category of deception, you may have noticed they are starkly different in nature. One consisted of the futility technique and maximization. The inevitability of outcome was imposed to such an extent that it caused the subject to have an emotional crisis, while the other consisted of rapport development and minimization. There was no applied pressure nor manufactured sense of urgency, and the subject was given the space to construct his own perception of the situation, then full flexibility in how he chose to respond. One worked through fear and coercion, the other through guile and manipulation. But more importantly, one can cause considerable harm to the innocent, while the other presents a far lower risk of doing so. And as you've seen throughout this video, it can be somewhat effective when used correctly. But anyway, here's the remaining segment of Ferlazzo's redacted footage, right about the time where he realizes he just told on himself.
Knowing full well exactly where she is and what he has done to her. He texts her phone one last time. You're an asshole. I don't deserve this shit. Ms. Adams told you in the state's opening statement that this case and this crime is about ego. Mr. Ferlazzo's ego. And Mr. Ferlazzo's nearly 42-year-old ego being unable to accept his 22-year-old wife disrespecting him. An ego so inflated that after killing her, taking her life because he didn't like the things she was saying to him, because she didn't want to be with him anymore, he calls her an asshole. He tells her that he doesn't deserve this. The state submits that it is Emily, and only Emily, that did not deserve this.
How do you find Mr. Plus counter first degree murder comes you're not going to take it? It's a chance to put you like us to and look, and let's just say go is that your verdict?
His reaction wasn't recorded as his term was read out, but Joseph Ferlazzo was sentenced to 45 years to life in prison, a punishment many have argued was unexpectedly lenient. He was subsequently investigated for the cold case murder of his stepmother. No charges have since been filed, and the case remains open to this day. In mid-2018, 29-year-old Grant was unemployed, living rent-free in his parents' guest house in the rural village of Choombacabra, Florida. He had not once lived on his own and had recently been kicked out of an anesthesiology school for lack of attendance and also fired from a job as a nurse for stealing medication. It was around that time when he decided to experiment with the relatively new realm of online cam sites. These platforms differ from regular porn sites in that they are interactive. Instead of watching a pre-recorded video, users can solicit live performances from models in exchange for money. This allows individuals to watch whatever acts they want, but at a price. Using his brother's credit card, he browsed through multiple cam models, spending an average of 20 minutes on each one. Yet it was on the 5th of June when forensics discovered he came in contact with a performer who went by the stage name of Sylvie. And over the following 6 months, Grant would spend over $200,000 of his family's money on this one model. The entirety of his father's life savings that he had saved up from working as a pharmacist for over 30 years was gone. He had spent $60,000 from his brother's credit card and had also taken a $65,000 loan out on the house. When his family found out, instead of calling the police, Grant was sent to a behavioral rehabilitation facility for online porn addiction.
The more we try to run from shame, the stronger it becomes.
When Grant got back from rehab on January 4th, his father presented him with a 2-page list of rules he was required to follow if he wanted to continue living at home. One of the conditions was that he cease all communication with Sylvia immediately, but it took just 3 weeks for the family to discover that he had broken the contract and re-established contact with the model via Twitter. On January 24th, when Chad Amato got home from work, he reportedly confronted Grant over his disregard, and the two of them got into a heated argument, which almost turned into a physical altercation. Grant was then kicked out of the house, and for the first time in his life, he was on his own. Shortly before 9 a.m. the next morning, police received a call from Cody Amato's girlfriend, alerting them that he had failed to show up to work that morning and hadn't responded to multiple phone calls. They arrived at the residence at 9:17 a.m., and once knocks on the front door went unanswered, they were able to gain access with a knife via the back entrance. Chad, Margaret, and Cody Amato were all found lying dead on the floor with gunshot wounds to the head from a 9mm handgun. Grant became the immediate prime suspect, as a witness statement from Cody's girlfriend advised police of a confrontation that had occurred the night before, as well as the collection of bizarre circumstances that had led to that point. He was traced to a hotel in Orlando.
You're very cooperative, sir. We appreciate that. Tommy, some of the detectives want to talk to you, so we're going to get home, touch off that. It's just a normal routine when you encounter someone, you want to make sure you're safe. Now, we know you don't have your weapons, we'll get those things off. We're confident we've been cooperative, everything's good, so we appreciate that very much. Goes a long way.
He immediately agreed to accompany them to the police station and sit down for an interview. Reports stated that he wasn't made aware of his family's demise, nor was he advised as to what the purpose of the interview was for. Grant himself didn't once inquire, just reportedly sat silent in the back seat of an unmarked police car, staring out the window for the entire journey to the police station.
No. I'm here.
Just to restate, he has not been told, nor given any insinuation as to why he is sitting inside an interrogation room, and has not once inquired himself.
Any time during this, we need to stop for a bathroom, drink, saying, just let me know if we have. My name is Danny Anderson. I'm a
The investigator's initial plan is to establish a friendly connection with the suspect, which can often be a highly effective tactical procedure to elicit a more detailed discourse. Yet on this occasion, something seems to get lost in the endeavor, which you'll just have to see for yourself when the time comes. This is one of the most fascinatingly aggravating interrogations to ever be released into the public domain.
We just want to talk a little bit and get this in out. Yeah, everybody. Full name.
My full name is Grant Kieran.
What degree, especially with nursing degree, what you do, or?
I mean, I have like other certifications, but I mean, with that, like I primarily worked in the hospital for I think, 5 years, 5 or 6 years. Well, I was accused of grand theft in the third grade back in June of 2018. There was no evidence that was ever presented. All the charges were dropped. I've been applying for jobs for the last couple of weeks. I got like 3 or 4 callbacks. Then I went on a job interview yesterday for a home infusion nurse job.
So what time was you?
It was scheduled for 10. I got there around 9. And then I think we actually had the interview about 9:45.
How that go?
I mean, it was organized. They didn't have anything. They said that they'd probably be getting back to that Tuesday or Thursday.
Gets back to work?
Yeah, because I mean, it's like it's crap as well. Not as funny as you're doing.
Finance, like how the nursing, what you say, not right. The nursing, how does that?
I mean, if you work your standard 3 to 12 hours a week, you get anywhere between, I'd say, $45,000 and $55,000 a year. So I mean, it's not bad. I think my best year, I made like $55,000. I really worked it.
Right.
And also, but I had the whole plan of going to graduate school. So it's kind of gives me that stepping.
Right. Just pay the bills for each we get a that's that's and what you're going for. What that that?
There's anesthesia pays, I mean, pays like 150 up to 175.
Okay. High school, what you got?
I went to Cooper Creek.
How are you right?
High school and the first 2 years of college, I was ABC. Um, I was in honors in the major program for yeah.
Girlfriend.
Girlfriend. I had like my high school sweetheart girlfriend for about 5 years. And then ever since then, no like official girlfriends, no flings or anything like that. Dates occasionally, but I mean not really. Kind of focused on like just getting through life goals that I wanted to achieve.
What do you like to do?
What do I like to do? I like to watch anime.
What is? Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I mean,
I thought you said anime. Okay. That you start explaining to it.
I mean, it's animated. It's like cartoons, I guess you could say, but it's Japanese cartoons. It is Japanese, and they somehow
Speak Japanese?
I don't. I understand a few words. We actually just went to me, my brother, and one of my friends, or I guess friends from high school. We went to Japan.
Is that couple been out of work?
I've been out of work for 6 months this year.
How did you pay a lot of money for the hour?
My brother.
Oh,
Yeah. I think the only other game I really played was Fortnite, but then that was starting to get to like
kids all over.
and actually during the time that I was working as a nurse, I tried to do the whole Twitch streaming thing. I'm sorry, you don't know
We have to explain a lot of stuff.
with Twitch, it's you got your mic and you have your face cam, and then basically people are just watching you play whatever game that you play. Okay. On virtual reality, it was primarily just Beat Saber, so it's like a rhythm-based game, like Guitar Hero. Apart from that, we really didn't get into too many other games. Yeah, we were kind of just focused on Beat Saber, but I think we had downloaded a few other words, just like you're going through like a world and you could interact with the words or something like that.
Oh, so you run the focus? How about that?
Oh yeah. Me and Cody. Yeah, I'm 29, 31. My oldest brother Jake, 35.
Talk about cooking.
Cody, we decided to go to nursing school together. We decided to go to the nursing and school together. So a lot of people thought that it was weird because we did everything together because we were so close. But yeah, I mean,
A lot of people understand the bond.
Yeah.
The true bond.
and I mean during like this whole time, I mean, kind of like the just two examples I've given you, you take care of everything.
Right there for you.
Yeah,
Boy, there to support you.
always there. Yeah, did everything together, connected to that.
And you're ever anything further than that?
No, like I was saying, during this last 6 months, it has been a very trying time. He would like have his moments where he would get extremely upset. He never gets violent, I guess you could say. But like at one point he got so upset that he like pushed the cabinet and then it like bent into the wall. Yeah, I mean, at least with me, he's always been like where he's there, like whatever it takes, regardless of what's happening, I'm gonna take care of it for you. My mom has
It must have been a bizarre sight for the detectives to witness when a man who had just allegedly shot his mother in the back of the head gave a reminiscent smile when she was brought up in the discussion.
always been the kind of like that. He's always been the one that focused on me, and
Were you leaving? You're leaving family baby?
for my
So that's you. Okay. On favor.
countless times my dad would like come up to me and he'd make like me feel like he'd try and use things and word things to make me feel guilty so that I would, do everything that I can, like a job.
Almost like a motivation.
Right. He'd tell me time and time again that, you're her favorite. I mean, she would do anything for you. And
I mean, it's like, yeah, I don't need to hear that. I mean, that's not what would motivate me.
Sure.
But no, mom, I think we yelled at each other and ran photos like 3 or 4 times my whole life. Never any issues. I mean, it was always like, if there was somebody that I could talk to and like Cody wasn't available, I'd always get my mom. I'd always let her know what's going on. Yeah, I mean, she would help me out through anything.
Okay, sorry about that.
Dad, dad's a pharmacist. He works for CVS. He's been a pharmacist for, I think, 35 years or so. My dad was very, like, angry, violent type person, overbearing. You know, like baseball practice, it'd be like 4 or 5 hours. He'd throw on the ball as fast as the ball can. And we're like 7th, 8th grade trying to catch this stuff. He was a little me when I was younger. The problem, I guess, was that I was always like the joker, when that could calm everybody down, make everybody smile. If it was a heated situation, I could say a joke or something, and that'd make everybody kind of move past it. And I was just at the point where it's like, you know, I'm hearing, you know, all this stuff with dad, I'm seeing how Cody's helping me, you know, mom stressed out with her job, and like I'm not doing it. But I'm never. The last time my dad put his hands on me would be, I'd say, kind of the middle of 2018. What happened? It's because, you know, with all the money that has been getting spent and
Just to be clear, the CAM model has not yet been brought up in the discussion. The money being spent in this context would simply be his living expenses.
I guess just the mix of everything I've been saying, kind of boiling up in him. And the fact that to him, it seemed like I wasn't concerned about it. So, and then plus I was, you know, I wasn't acting like myself with the jovialness, you know, all that good stuff. My father chose to admit me to like a depression or addiction clinic or something like that in Fort Lauderdale, Cornerstone. Like that. That was December 22nd until I think January 4th. Did you agree to go? I didn't, but they said that, you know, this was your only. Who's that? My dad. Okay. Yeah.
Did your mom agree with it?
My mom and my brother both agreed, but it was my dad who was like, yeah, because like this is what's gonna happen. Like, you know, you can't.
Why did he say you need to go? What was the reason?
Because the way that I was acting, he didn't see that I was doing anything like positive. You know, and a lot of it just came back to money with him. He would like allow me to spend money that he had, like with his credit card or something like that. But it's like then whenever I did, it was like a huge problem.
So I actually get my credit card.
Yeah.
And what was my thing?
Well, what I was doing is over the past 4 months or something like that, I've been talking to this woman on the night. She's a camp. A camp model. Yeah, there goes. Just like all my videos done. A camp model is like it's like a virtual girlfriend, I guess you would say. Like that type of situation. So a lot of the money went to her. She lives in Bulgaria. Over here, like outside of Germany.
Okay. You ever done it?
No. Just for like time online with her. Yeah. So it's just like that type of thing.
And what's the card?
$600 for I got like 5,000 or something, so something like that. So, and then it was 4 hours a night. So I mean that's basically just where all my costs went to was you pay real money for the token, then you use the company's digital currency for
Okay.
that.
So you do that. When did you meet her?
I met her at the beginning of July. Yeah, at the very beginning of July.
Okay. And you still talking about it?
So yeah, I mean, more just on like Twitter. like look through direct messaging. Again, self-serve doesn't work, so it's like I can't keep the app.
How much do you think we spent? Right?
Yeah, probably close to like $200,000. I'd say.
$100,000.
Yeah.
And where's the money from?
Money came from me, my brother, and then my dad.
Did they know what money was going?
They didn't know that it was going to a camp. I was saying that it was going towards my Twitch streaming, like advertising, like putting my name out there and that type of thing. So I guess like bring it all back with why I was brought to Cornerstone. It was a mix of all of those things. Like he felt like, you know, he felt like, yeah. And so then I was there, you know, I spoke to like the therapist, the psychiatrist and all that stuff. I didn't need any medications or anything. They had analyzed it as it's an isolated event. You've been out of work, you have this PTSD from the whole getting arrested thing. And, I mean, the last thing on my record, I think, is speeding ticket back when I was at UCF. They had signed me up, I think, to be there for 60 days, but then I was only there January 4th. So
Pay for that.
my brother, because
What was the cost of that?
15,000.
So their final diagnosis would be this.
That I was fine. That I was fine. I told them all about like my living situation and how it had been stressful and then it got better and then now it's just stressful again. But they had all just said that it was just an isolated event. Right. When I got back, that's when my dad started to get really kind of overbearing. I mean, rightfully so. I know what I did. But it's like with him, it was every single day, hours a day, hours a day. He'd come home from work and then he would just talk to me just about the same exact thing over and over and over again.
When was the last time that you and your dad did that? You know, a heated conversation.
It would be Thursday. Because one of his goals was that I wasn't allowed to talk to the woman that I but I guess you could say behind the scenes, my mom would let me talk to her through her cell phone. So anyways, on Thursday, he had apparently found out that I was speaking to her. You know, it wasn't really my intention to continue talking to this woman, but it just kind of happened. And then because there was like that emotional connection, I guess you could say, between her and me, like I like, you know, it felt like a relationship, you know, I didn't want to just stop cold turkey.
So Thursday, you're home all day.
Yeah.
With your mom. She works at, correct?
Yeah.
Did you have to work? What was going to work at?
He worked until I think he had to go in early that day. Because he had started like doing overtime or something like that. And he normally works until like 5 or 6 in the morning to I think he gets done between like 5:30 and 6 at night or something like that.
Time to go back.
He got home at like 5:30, and then he came in and he asked me in a calmer state, I guess you could say, like basically the leading question of, you know, why do you think we're about to have this conversation? Giving me, I guess, that opportunity to be honest and truthful, maybe tone it down a little bit. I, of course, did what I always did, where I kind of didn't admit to it. And then he came out, he told me that I've been doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He kind of, you know, pulled me up from the couch and then he was yelling at me to pack my shit up and just get out of the house. That he was the one who had to be the camera and that, you know, why am I making him have to go through this and all this other kind of stuff.
Okay.
I had my argument and then I'm packing my stuff, I'm, you know, taking it out to the car. It took me like a couple hours to get as much as I could. It's kind of got into there. So I left. And then 9 or 9:30 or so.
Goes on to state that he met up with his brother soon after on the side of the road.
And well,
Conversation was basically that he was brought up to speed, you know, and that he would take care of it.
he was brought up to speed by what?
This is Grant attempting to frame his brother for a double murder-suicide. You will see this quote brought up repeatedly from this point forward.
He was brought up to speed on like why I'm out here. My mom.
But he told.
Yeah.
He told you that. Why? That's all.
Right.
Do you think that's why Cody left work?
According to Grant, Cody had left work a few hours early to meet up with him on the side of the road. Cody had indeed left work early, yet it wasn't to meet up with Grant. It was later proven that while Margaret Amato was sitting at the computer sipping on a glass of red wine, Grant shot her in the back of the head. He then lay in wait for his father to return to the house, then shot him twice in the head as he entered the kitchen. Cody then received a text from his father's number, asking him to come home urgently. Forensics believed that he was very likely pleading for his life soon after he entered the front door. He was found by police with a gunshot wound to the face, lying in the fetal position. His credit card was stolen, with a purchase made to a campsite for $600 and estimated 30 minutes later.
I mean, in my mind, I was just thinking, oh, he had been let off work early like three times already this week. So I
And if you guys talk about it, you have a conversation, and he leaves to go home,
Right.
and you need to go back.
and then I stay in that general area just so that if anything happens, somebody like knows where I am. Yeah, I mean, I'm staying in that general area, and then I decided to go.
He just referred to the public supermarket parking lot. This is where he used the free Wi-Fi to log onto the campsite with his dead brother's credit card. About what time?
Like between like midnight and 1, I think.
And then you go to public midnight 1 hour.
I stay there until like 7.
What's there last night?
I messaged the girl that I've been talking to on Twitter. Yeah.
On Twitter, do you have to pay?
Right.
Have you followed that page?
I think 1.
The discussion is then brought back to his last meeting with Cody.
When you left Cody, what did he say he was gonna do?
Jody said that you can take care of it.
Take care of what?
Just the situation that was at the end with whatever he had been updated with.
Did he tell you what he's gonna do?
He had told me the reason why like I'd been kicked out. But he really didn't give me that much dialogue like about that situation. You know, he was miffed a little bit because he just got off work and now he has to go deal with this.
But what was your demeanor? Like, what did Cody see you as? Like, were you
Like scared.
upset?
Yeah. Like, I was scared because I mean, like I said, it's the first time that I've been out of the house.
We come and talk to them. Remember, if you're knowledge, you're talking to us.
The detective will now initiate the first confrontation.
Why do you think we're having this conversation?
I honestly don't know, but I'm pretty freaked out at this point because, you know, it's, I mean, I know like how the situation was when I left.
You're now about to see the lead interrogator's attempt at getting Grant to confess, in a manner so blatantly obvious that the suspect immediately sees through it.
And the child, when told the truth, always in the best. Correct? Or do you agree with that?
Yeah.
And actually, the heat of the moment things happen that we would have, but we make, I do it myself with my kid would make me bag me, I'll snap at it and walk away. But wow, that's not very good. Yeah, but my child or something. Yes, they're wrong, but I should be developed and not parent. Tell me what you think, because I can tell by I've done this for a long time. I read people the way they act, the way they talk, and the way they answer questions. There's something you want to tell her. I see it in your eyes, I see it in your body language. It's just your way of the time. Now's the time you want to get off your chest and give us an explanation of what's wrong. Now it's that time. And I'm giving that opportunity. Right now, tell me something you want to get off your chest. It's there. I see your face, I see your eyes.
About that night.
You're upset about it. You're upset about it. You've been that. Let's we talk to you. Something's involved. Even though I don't know you have how technically things something really bothers you. It's not that, you know, I spent a bunch of money on here. That's what the girl. So he did go with money. Something bothers you.
I'm just worried about what is all transpiring with that.
I think that at this point right now, beyond the great, it's in your eyes. Your eyes is the beauty of your soul, and it's in your eyes. And now, you people don't believe it. Like I told you out there before, and I tell you, you may not like what I say, but I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm gonna tell you the truth every time. I can walk in front of anybody, God, say, I don't care. I told you the truth.
And we usually know answers before we ask.
I did we and even knew everything before we asked you the question. Now's the time to come to Jesus. Be honest. If you're holding something back, you try. People don't believe that police will help you, but we are actually help if you make it. I think something happened, and you don't want to tell us. But right now is the time to get off the chest. And I really wish you would, because people make you feel better.
I genuinely don't have anything else that I can say about the night or at the end of the period of time afterward.
There's only one opportunity. To make that good impression. And you've done something you should have done. You've got the comprehending of the jar.
Detective Dan's approach here is so incredibly outdated and predictable that it actually seems to boost the suspect's confidence. It's the detective, in fact, who gives off a nervous disposition. He'll begin stumbling over his own words while simultaneously mixing up his analogies, which never made a great deal of sense to begin with.
No.
Now that happened, how do you have that you left out, when you haven't asked you, that would be important, or time that you drove around 2 hours. Did you ever really go back to the house?
You'll also notice the female detective interject with something useful every now and then, but unfortunately she's not the one leading this interrogation. That would be the detective who keeps bringing up Jesus, to a guy who just murdered his family to go jerk off in a parking lot to a Bulgarian cam model.
I know the things that you don't know. And honesty will teach you all the things I can do for you. I can't deal with someone who lies to me, but I deal with someone and help them till the end. No matter what, believe it or not, that's just me.
You do.
I'm very
Right.
I hope to be honest. I'm going to say if I can do something that can help, I'm going to help because every one of us makes mistakes, things we should have done, and to heed the moment to protect ourselves or to protect somebody else. It happens. Now it's time.
Hey,
Now is the time.
what'd you
What
do?
do you think
My
happened?
floor's all sticky everywhere.
Oh my god.
I think that there was something.
What'd you do?
What do I do?
Yeah,
What happened?
I know better. I listen.
you drunk,
I
right?
know better. I know
Last night, yeah. Okay.
Huh? Okay. You need to like be more careful, dude.
Yeah.
Do you work today?
Yeah, I'm about to go to work in a little bit.
Dad said you just went to bed.
I went to bed. Like,
We need to know what happened.
hours ago?
He said 10 minutes ago.
10 minutes ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
You need to know why law enforcement got involved.